So we have our guest lecturer today, and her name is Ms. Anika Tahsin, and her talk is titled Modern Britain Through the Eyes of a Bangladeshi Student. Ms. Anika Tahsin completed her graduation in English literature from BRAC University. Recently, she completed her post-graduation master's degree in English language and literature from the University of Westminster in London. At the BRAC University, Anika performed as a general secretary of the BRAC University Communication and Language Club, and also she had done other voluntary services. In London, in the University of Westminster, she gained work experience as a school representative. Anika hopes to pursue her PhD degree in the near future.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. I have known Anika as my student in history minor courses. She has impressed me with her articulate writings and participating in the discussion sessions. At a personal level, Anika is my Facebook friend. As a matter of fact, the course cover we have, the picture of the Buckingham Palace, I got it from Anika. I saw it on her Facebook page, and I asked Anika, can I please have it for my course, Modern Britain, which I'm going to introduce soon? And this is just so right for my course. And she was kind enough to send me the picture straight away. So thank you, Anika, for the picture and agreeing to give a talk on modern Britain, the Britain you saw recently through your lenses. So the talk will be for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then we will take up question and answer. So the Zoom session is all yours now, Anika.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's great to be back in Mrs. class because I remember my days in BRAC when I used to be in Mrs. class, and it was amazing. And today, since Miss asked me to share my experience in modern Britain, so as a student from Bangladesh, my very first impression of modern Britain or England, or as we say today, UK, is that it is a nation of multiple cultures, and it represents the coexistence of these multiple cultures. As a nation, Britain is very much expressive, be it through their artwork, their street writings, their monuments, or their statues. And the most interesting part about the culture, the tradition, and the specificity of modern Britain is that the people of modern Britain, and also the government and the monarch, they work really hard to preserve their heritage, but at the same time, they also really focus on, at the very same time, they also very much focus on making a new path for the modern technologies, the modern contributions, and the modern art. So if I start with the very first picture that I feel that is the most closest to my heart, is this picture that I took on 17th of July 2020. It was just about the time when the pandemic was hitting very hard in several parts of England. So this writing says, I thought 2020 would be the year I got everything I wanted. Now I know that 2020 year, I appreciate everything I have. So through this small piece of writing, this might just appear as a small writing to some, but however, I saw a lot of people who were passing by this writing was extremely inspired and was taking pictures. And I was also one of them. And I thought that, wow, this is great. This is something in the recent days that we are also experiencing in Bangladesh, that we write motivational quotes and our thoughts, and subconsciously we inspire others. So in the streets of modern Britain, we can see several writings, artworks, and monuments that inspires the lives of individuals. Modern Britain also is something, as I mentioned earlier, a coexistence of heritage and modernity. As we can see, this is the London Eye, and in front of it, we can see an Uber boat. The best part about the streets and the ambience of England is that they incorporate the technology and changes with their history and heritage in such a way that it does not appear to be misplaced or appear weird in some way. Because I remember when I came to London first in January, the Uber boats were still not introduced. But however, this place is very close to my heart, London Eye. So I often went there, and then one day the Uber boats were there. And it seemed like, wow, this is really complementing the ambience of London Eye. And as we proceed, some places are kept unchanged. For instance, the London Bridge, the Tower Bridge of London. This place is adorned with lights, and the entire ambience of London Bridge is something that replicates its 18th century, 19th century vibes. When I was standing in front of the London Bridge, I did not feel like I am surrounded by technology or modernity, but I felt like I can actually experience the true essence of Britain, the Britain that existed during the 17th and 18th century. Moving forward, if we really want to see modern Britain, I personally felt that the central London screams modern Britain. It is a hub of multiple cultures, multiple people who are coming from all over the world, and they are celebrating each other's culture. In Chinatown, there are people who are coming from mostly all over the places of UK, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nigeria, and every country that we can name. There are people who are coming and celebrating the Chinese culture. There is a particular day of the year when they celebrate Chinese New Year. And the celebration is so pompous and so exciting that it does not lack a single less vibe than the Christmas that is celebrated in modern England. So that is something that struck me extremely. I was amazed and excited to see that how the Chinese New Year is celebrated there. And then there is Soho. This place is lively, full of people. And in Soho, there is a very interesting thing. In the streets of Soho, there are small rickshaws, and you can actually pay £2 for a small ride of 10 minutes. So according to them, they have been inspired by this rickshaw ride from several South Asian countries, such as they have seen this in Kolkata, Bangladesh, and also a few of the rickshaw pullers say that they have seen something similar to this in Japan. Moving forward, the modern Britain has several art galleries, museums as these. This is an art gallery called Sophie Art Gallery, which is also centered in Soho, and it represents modern art, as you can see. So these kind of art galleries and museums can particularly be seen in the central London, while the British Museum, Madame Tussauds, is placed a bit far from the central London, but it still is around zone 3 or 4. The zones in England is basically to describe the central London, North London, South, East, or West. And moving forward, this is a picture of Trafalgar Square, which comes with this beautiful museum. They have several film festivals, musics, and several exhibitions, art exhibitions, and sculpture exhibitions. But what gives this 200 to 250 years old building a modern touch is, as you can see, the front of this museum has a big space where several teenagers and other people either skateboard or rollerblades, or they play music. They come together and they play music, they dance, and they celebrate. They celebrate the pop culture, the music, and their talents. And furthermore, this place is also very close to my heart, Covent Garden. Covent Garden is a place that was planned somewhere near 100 to 150 years. But with every passing time, what is very eye-catching of this place is that they have developed several shops and other cultural attributes that represents both Britain in its old forms, new forms, while they also give or promote other cultures and their heritage. There are several stores from Bangladesh. There are stores and small restaurants from China, India, Indonesia, and Uganda. In Covent Garden, there are small carts where people actually are in lines that they chronologically set their carts. Why you can find momos or tacos or any kind of curries. So you can understand that it's a variety of multiculturalism which coexist within themselves, and everyone is celebrating it. Like, they have accepted the fact that Britain is of different layers, and these layers define modern Britain. And in the British Museum is something that helps us understand the previous history of Britain a bit more. Here is a picture of Nataraj, which was collected from India. And then there is a picture of mummies from the British Museum. What is in here is that in the British Museum, you will see very less things that belong to the British people, but there are several things like mummies, jewelries, potteries, even big ships that comes from all over the world, from Africa to Egypt to India. In British Museum, you 40 to 50% of the things are from India. And a big part of the British Museum also consists of over 7 to 8 mummies from Egypt. So it shows that it represents the colonization of Britain, the old Britain. However, if we step out of the British Museum, the picture is different. There we can see cultural harmony, but the British Museum represents the harsh colonization. And as we see these important things which should have belonged to its actual owners, we understand that Britain has not always been this welcoming or harmonious in terms of welcoming people of other cultures or colors that we can see in today's modern Britain. So by that, we can understand that Britain has come a very long way and has become more welcoming, friendly, and very much, I would say, lenient when it comes to celebrate diversity. Furthermore, there is an interesting thing that also runs through the Madame Tussauds. We all know how important this person is when it comes to the church, Henry VIII. So he is a very important part of modern Britain, and Henry VIII is one of the very few persons whose statues and figures you can find all over England, be it Cambridge, be it in most of the streets of London, Madame Tussauds, even in Oxford and several places in England, you can see Henry VIII standing there with pride. And then this is an interesting picture I would like to show you guys. Here we can see the Monarch family, the royal family of Britain. However, is there anyone that seems to be missing in this picture?
Can anyone guess? Anybody is missing? Any couple?
Anyone missing from this picture?
Harriet Tubman?
Exactly. However, they have not quite been evicted from the entire family picture. They do stand in Madame Tussauds, but separate. Here, we can understand something extremely important about the political situation or the royal situation in modern Britain. The tension even runs in a museum that is open to the local eyes, that several of us foreigners are going and visiting.
On other than Anika, could you please turn it off because there are background noise. Okay? Yeah, Anika, go ahead.
All right. In this museum, Madame Tussauds, we can sense the political tension that is going around. However, there are also new statues that has been introduced. For instance, Boris Johnson's and our beloved Trump's. And there is also a big part of Bollywood present in the Madame Tussauds. Apart from the British and American actors, presidents, a big part of Madame Tussauds consists of Indian actors and presidents. That's something that also shows India's recent impact on the culture and the existence of Britain. And here is something that I would really like to, also, before moving to that, how can we forget Shakespeare? So there are several literary authors present in Madame Tussauds, but Shakespeare is the only one who has been decked with the most appropriate appearance. And there are at least 2 to 3 statues of Shakespeare, which is not present with any other authors there. And moving forward from the museums, let's now take a look at the modern side of London, and most importantly, modern Britain. So this is Primrose Hill. This is in Regent Park, and what is most significant about this place is this is on top of a hill. So when we stand on the edge of this Primrose Hill, we can see particularly central London, which is the hub of modernity, technology, and everything that consists of modern Britain. Be that the pompous street lights, the Piccadilly Circus. We can also see the Piccadilly Circus and the huge screen of Piccadilly Circus from Primrose Hill. And unfortunately, this just struck me yesterday that I have been in London for such a long time, but I did not think of taking a picture of Piccadilly Circus. So if we had a picture of that, I could have shown you that Piccadilly Circus is a good representation of how technology and advertisement has taken over in London, because the big screen of Piccadilly Circus is always projecting new ads and new promotions. So we are always updated of what is the most latest trend going on all over the world through those screens, and apart from the social media, of course. But those screens are always, as the bus takes a turn in the streets of Piccadilly Circus, we know, all right, so these things are going on. And okay, so that's what I needed the update on. And then there are some parks in London that represents how they are preserving their natural resources. This is a waterfall which is inside a park, and they have kept it intact. And this is completely natural. And in the very same park, you can see several peacocks. What is interesting about this, that there was a time in England when zoo and circus was very prominent, and people used to visit zoos and circuses as a form of entertainment. However, as the modern Britain has been extremely conscious of protecting the animals and its rights, what they have done is they have incorporated the animals inside the parks, where the normal people can come and experience their presence, but they don't have to be quite encaged. So that's something that was really interesting. And I thought that this is something that we can also do in Bangladesh, not for the lions and tigers, of course, but for the other animals. And then this monument of an elephant also screams how concerned they are about the protection of animals and their rights. This this elephant is in Spitalfields Market. This is also in central London. Central London is basically the place where all the recent modern and postmodern statues and monuments are. And it's completely modern. There are rarely any old buildings or any old places that is to be observed. So in terms of this statue of this elephant represents motherhood of the elephant world. This elephant represents all those elephants that has been killed and poached by poachers over the past 20 years. There was something else that I had a picture of, but I could not incorporate in this slide, is that there are 20 to 25 other small elephant cubs in this entire area, which has been statued, and it mentions their name, when they were rescued, and at what age they were rescued. And this elephant represents their motherhood and all the rescuers who have rescued those elephant cubs. So in front of this elephant are the names of all the rescuers who have over the time rescued those 20 to 25 elephant cubs. Moving forward, how many of us knows this gentleman? So this is a statue near East London, and there are several statues of Harry Potter, Peter Pan, and other characters as well. In fact, if I remember, there is also a statue of Tinkerbell as well. And since these statues complement the modernity, but there are thousands and thousands, and when I'm saying thousands, I'm not even exaggerating. There are thousands and thousands of statues which represents the heritage, the monarch, and the past royals and the past royals, monarchs, and the other representative of Old Britain. For instance, we have seen this great statue in front of Buckingham Palace.
I may interrupt, Anika, if you don't mind. Can I interrupt?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we have only 7 minutes left, but it's our virtual tour of London is really going great. And thank you for
Yes,
this.
I'm almost towards the end.
Yeah, it's thank you for this picture. I'm sure the students know that it's our cover page in Bucks and
Yes.
in our Facebook. So I got it from Anika Tahsin, the speaker of our session today. So thanks a lot. So pretty. I just love this. I saw it on her Facebook page, and I said, can I please have it? And she was really good. She was kind. She has always been. So thank you. Yeah. So we have just 7 more minutes, 6 minutes. Yeah, we will just wrap it up soon. Thank you.
All right. So here is also another statue of Shakespeare, which was established somewhere near 1920. But as we can see the condition of this statue, it has been well preserved, but not quite taken. You can see it's become a bit rusty and dirty. And this is something I really wanted to show you guys to give you a sense of the houses that are in modern Britain. This is a small house in Birmingham, and you can see how pretty this is. And this is completely constructed in a modern format, while there are houses that represents nature. This sakura tree was in front of a house, and I thought this is one of the most beautiful trees I have ever come across. And then we have this small house in Oxford that made me feel that I need a house like that someday. This was so serene and tranquil. Moving forward, this is a tube station in West Kensington. As you can see, this beholds a very rustic and historic appearance. However, the inside of the station is very modern with Oyster card stands and modern technology which ensures your security. And then again, there are also streets in England or modern Britain, which is still preserving its hereditary. For instance, this street in Cambridge. When you walk through this street, you feel like you have arrived in somewhere 18th to 19th century, where there are no mobile devices or anything. But I am glad I had my mobile so I could capture this amazing street and share it with you guys too. And then this is a part of modern Britain. This is a small inn. Come together, celebrate, they drink, they watch football, cricket matches, they have karaoke. And people from different places, mostly students, come here and celebrate. And then we have our own diverse Bangladeshi culture. Something wrong with this picture. Haji Nanna Biryani. Never quite seen these two together, have we? Haji and Nanna together. That's very rare. But what's really peaceful about this place is we can go and actually taste the authentic biryani, which I used to miss back in London. That I really craved for a plate of hot biryani and I couldn't. And someone suggested, hey, there's just Nanna biryani. Go and have a plate of biryani. But what's a bit traumatizing about this kind of restaurants in London or all over England is that they are extremely expensive. A plate of Nanna biryani there is approximately 10 pounds, which is around 1200 Dhaka in Bangladesh. I was like, hey, I can buy 5 plates of biryani with that Dhaka. So, and this is the last picture of my presentation and my slide. These are graffiti arts, which can be seen in the roads of Shoreditch, central London. This place in central London particularly is filled with such graffiti arts. And when we come across these streets in London, it shows that how much they have adapted to the art of modern or postmodern culture recently. And it has been greatly inspired by the American pop culture as well. So you can also see the traces and influences of that in the streets of modern Britain. So in the end, I would like to say that modern Britain today has become a hub for every culture. You name it, you have it, and with respect. There are no cultures that are looked down upon within their own eyes. They respect and they tend to celebrate. I had several British friends who actually wished me way before my Muslim and Bangladeshi friends wished me on Eid. And they actually came over for biryani. So that actually helped me understand how welcoming and adapting this entire nation has become over the time, since the last time we read about them.
Yeah, thank you.
About their colonization.
Yeah, Anika, thank you very much.
So
I think our time is up, but it has been a wonderful virtual tour of London and the history of Great Britain. Very perfect for appropriate for our course. So we don't have time for question Q&A. I'm sorry, it has been, the Zoom session is very short, but I'm sure we will take up discussions in our next Zoom session, and I will let you know how it went. I'm sure students, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. And I'm sure all of you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for coming. Okay, and it will be uploaded in our Zoom session, so we all can go back and watch this presentation. Okay, so thank you so much. And
thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. It was so nice to see you after such a long time. And I'm glad you're doing very well.
It was amazing to be a part of your
yeah, you're welcome. And good luck with your PhD plans.
Thank you,
okay, all right.
Inshallah.
Okay, then bye.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am,
so
and thank you, Anika Tahsin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anika.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.